So here we are, kicking off at the start of the walk, and as usual you have a bit of a map of the trailhead. We are right here along the road. We're going to take Fuber steps down over here to Federal Pass, and then swing down past Scenic World, which is a pretty cool little place. Continue on past the landslide, which I'll get some footage of. We are going. So I just went through a place called Scenic World. Pretty cool little place if you're up in the Blue Mountains. Some bush turkeys. Oh, they're not there. Anyway, pretty cool little place if you're up in the Blue Mountains doing some touristy stuff. They've got a fair bit of history on the Blue Mountains, how originally coal was mined here, etc, etc. Shows you some of the coal mines, the tools, and it's got a few tourist attractions like the Skywalk. It's also got a cable car type setup, and one of the cooler things is what's meant to be the world's steepest railway, which is pretty cool too. Definitely worthwhile checking out. Cool little day trip out of Sydney. Can definitely spend a fair bit of time exploring. I've done this trail a few times, with the whole hike only once, but sections of the trail a few times, including this part here, and every time I'm pretty amazed how absolutely beautiful it is, and absolutely awesome to hike through, with little creeks flowing from waterfalls or streams or whatever. And especially on a weekday, today's one of the coolest things about going up to the ruined castle is you get to have a bit of a scramble. So this is the ruined castle. Nice little scrambled up, Mount Solitaire, next stop, but for now, time for a bit of a breather. So now to one of the more important questions of the day. What is for lunch? Well, this is my little lunch box. Just a nice simple or food box bag. It's a 12-litre bag from Osprey. One of their ultralight compression sacks. And let's have a look. Nice and simple. Some cabanossi, which the wife and I buy from the butcher along with a bunch of other stuff. Chuck in the freezer. Actually, that's the sausage. That's dinner. But anyway, well, this is another thing which we get from the same butcher. And just chuck it in the freezer. And whenever we go on camping trips or whatever, take these out, and you know, they defrost on the trail, so over the next day or two you pretty much have some pretty fresh cabanossi and sausage. And the other meal for lunch, or the other thing I'll be having for lunch, is an apple. So time to enjoy. You really can't lose with this hike. You can see again the ruined castle over there where I had lunch, and then again the whole trail which was before that, which got us up to this point. And then ahead is the scramble up, and it continues like this for a little bit. Lots and lots of fun with this weather. Perfect. And as you get higher and higher, the views just get better and better. Check that out. Even behind you, further up the mountains, the view is absolutely awesome. Just 360 degrees. There's two main campsites on Mount Solitary, but there are some awesome little tucked away rogue campsites, like this one with this little fire pit, nice flat ground, and then of course you have the view. Check this out. I'm waking up to this in the morning. Pretty awesome. So one of the campsites, or the campsite that me and my friend stayed in last time, is pretty much kind of one of these. It's away from the two main campgrounds, and purely we picked it because we went past the first campground, which is coming up not too long, and that was not too long because that was too early. And then the second campground on the other side of Mount Solitary was pretty much full, so we kept on hiking. Found a little slide bit really similar to that off the trail and kind of set up there, so that's where I'm aiming to go again today. See if anyone else has been there since our last visit. Hopefully the firewood will still be there. Save me collecting a whole bunch more later this afternoon. Coming up to another absolutely awesome view of the valley. Totally amazing. Over there is the Warragamba catchment area, so you got Warragamba Dam over that way, and this is the back of Mount Solitary. So we came from outside. Pretty freaking amazing. and a pretty good place to stop, have a quick breather, have a banana or something, and I've got to put the camera on charge because it's running out of battery after almost an hour of recording. And I actually made the mistake of bringing one memory card, and I'm shooting in the 4K setting, so I've only got about 35 minutes left of recording on this card, and it's only 2 o'clock on day one, so this trip might be cut a little bit short as far as videoing is concerned, but we'll see how we go. So I'm just about to put the camera on charge. I'm still at this beautiful spot, but I want to show you guys how I carry my kind of bits and pieces which don't really belong anywhere in the bag. So I've got the Osprey Exos 48. It does come with a top lid, but I've chosen to remove the top lid, don't really need it. And the other thing that it comes with is this kind of cover, which is built into the bag. So when you remove the top lid, you can use this cover. However, the top lid does have 2 mesh pockets, so they're really useful for keeping little bits and pieces. Because I have removed it, I've got a Cedar Summit, just this kind of mesh bag, which originally had a towel in it. So the towel, it came with the towel, and in this bag I've got all little bits and pieces, like little micro towel. I've got my battery in there, my wallet in there, head torch in there, and again just little bits and pieces. And this kind of just lives in the front mesh pocket, so it's easy to grab and take out little. Pretty much up here, awesome place, have a tea, have a coffee. The sun sets just down there, and in the morning you have sunrise coming up over there, so it's pretty much spot on. If this was a little bit more flat, it would be an awesome place to camp. Maybe you can get away with camping on this part here, wouldn't be too bad if you cleared it all out, but we like the spot down there. A little bit more sheltered, especially if the wind picks up. Shouldn't be too bad tonight, and you've got a really good place for the fire, the little cave bit. Again, it's really nice, sheltered and protected. But up here, so easy to get to. Bring the cooking kit up and have your morning coffee or your late night coffee, whatever, up here, and it's absolutely awesome. Great spot. Oh, and we came from about there somewhere, hiked all the way around the side. That was Rouen Castle right there, and then up around the back of Mount Solitary, and now we're heading down tomorrow, all the way down there, across and up. It's gonna hurt. Last little thing, I guess, I've only got about 15 minutes left, and I want to save some footage for tonight and also tomorrow. That's the Three Sisters in that direction, I think. Either that one or that one. I think it's that one. So I'm sure most of you have heard of the Three Sisters, pretty big tourist attraction that's over there too. So yeah, that's about it.
Alright, time to get a nice little fire going. So first and foremost, we'll place our cotton balls under there. Got a whole bunch of little sticks there. And then crush up as much as possible, just a bunch of leaves. Place them on top there as well. And then once I light up the cotton balls, I'm going to pop some more little sticks on there. A big trick and a big tip is to blow gently, but for a considerable amount of time. So you really fuel that fire with lots and lots of oxygen, rather than trying to force heaps of oxygen in there in a short period of time. Just a very steady, continuous amount of oxygen for a much longer time goes a long way to building a fire. It rained here yesterday, I think, or the day before, so you can see how much moisture there is in the leaves alone and the little sticks, etc. So much smoke, so much moisture. But it's going pretty good. So this is pretty much what I usually do for dinner. Like I mentioned before, buy the sausage and cabanossi from the butcher, freeze it over, and then have it for on the trail. I do have some rice, I think, or mash or something that I could do up with this one, but I think I'm just going to have the sausage. I've got another piece there, so just cook it over the fire and enjoy it. Good morning, welcome to day 2, and just in time for the sunrise. So beautiful up here. I'm gonna go grab my little stove and all the food and have a break up here and a coffee. And I know breakfast in bed is nice, but I reckon this one's a little bit better. So while the water's on the go for the coffee, I thought I'd show you what I'm having for breakfast today. One of my recent favourites has been, let's see, these things over here, these honey and oat porridge sachets, and I've actually got 3 of them, which are a pretty good amount for me to kick off the morning.
Along with that, I have a bunch of powdered milk in here, so I pop this into some cold water, start to warm it up a little bit. Doesn't quite get to a boil, doesn't really need to. And as it's warming up, just throw the sachets in, and it turns into the perfect mixture, and it is so good. Honey and cinnamon in the morning, you can't go wrong. Absolutely delicious, nice and warming, especially since it's nice and cool this morning. So hopefully not too long until the water's ready for the coffee. I boil that first, and I have the tea bag coffee, which I'll show you guys. So that's this stuff. Actually surprisingly good. I actually even just drink it at work just because it's so easy, it's cheap, and it's a really clean and smooth flavor. It doesn't feel burnt or doesn't feel bitter or anything like that. It's really good. You can drink it without sugar or anything, but at home I add honey. So yeah, boil the water, chuck the coffee in there, and these mugs here by GSI or whatever the brand is, yeah, GSI Outdoors, they keep it nice and warm while I do my porridge in there, and then kind of have my coffee and my breakfast all at the same time. Anyway, I'm starving. So guys, this is pretty much it. I've got about 6 minutes left on the memory card, all packed up, ready to go, or pretty much all packed up. Might save any further videoing if something dramatic happens or whatever. But apart from that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video thus far, and I don't know if there's going to be any more. There's not too much space left on the memory card, but yeah, just on the way back to the car now. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock, so a bit of a late start, but I spent too much time up there enjoying the view. Had 2 coffees instead of 1, but all ready to go now.